Previously on the All Drivers Career. Marcus Ericsson. So we're going to be in a lower team of Sauber. 5 lights now. We've got 2 Red Bulls in front of us. Can we get a good start? No, we get bogged down. We get a terrible start actually. That means we go up the inside of Paris. And we look up the inside of Massa and Kvyat. And there's contact. And Hulkenberg is in the wall. Darwin on the inside wants to get another little bit of contact. There's... well, it's pretty much clean racing. We miss the apex once again for that corner. And he's tagged us! We've been spun, just like in Bahrain. Position loss, we're going to try and hold around outside of that. We bounce off a side pod, we're going through the gravel into the wall. And that's race over. As you can see, we've now dropped down into 6th place in the standings, still on 40 points. What's going on, guys? Pomson87 here, and welcome all to the Monaco Grand Prix of the All Drivers Career Mode race. This should be a great race, guys, so please stick through to the very end because it's definitely an exciting race. But before all of that, here's the drive decision wheel. We spin it and we are driving as Max Verstappen for this race. So definitely an interesting choice in the Toro Rosso. Has good downforce in this car, so I was actually pretty pleased with that choice. Unfortunately, the drive decision wheel wasn't live, it was post-com afterwards. I accidentally lost the audio. But without further ado, we're going to the practice session now, and as you can see, it is spitting with rain. Actually, no, it's more than spitting, really. It's quite a bit of rain, though it's quite light, so I think it probably is just intermediate tyres. And we have done a hell of a lot of practice in Mercedes before this, but we're also going to do some practice in the Toro as well, just to get used to the car, because I actually want to do well in this race. For us to even think about staying in the championship fight, we need... at the very least a podium, if not the win. We need to go for glory for this episode today. So we're going out there for some practice, and as you might have seen in one of my previous videos, Mercedes around Monaco, some of the AI have really funny glitches around this track. I don't know what's up with them. They just go bonkers half the time. I'm not quite sure why. But here's me going out with the practice session, and I balls up already. So that was not a good start to the session, unfortunately. And here is me going for lap 2, still on these intermediate tyres, yellow flag ahead, so it's a crash, and that's Maldonado. Of course it's Maldonado in the wall with a Marussia. I couldn't tell who the Marussia was, I think it might be Stevens, but of course, classic Maldonado has already crashed someone. It's only practice session, so I don't know what them two are doing in the wall. Maybe it's part of that glitch thing I was on about, but we're going through to complete this lap now. So just getting a feel for the car, especially in the wet conditions. I mean, who knows, it might be wet. And jeez, that was Perez coming on the pits. It's very close to me, hit him in there. As we're going to slow him a replay, we just turned in the last seconds. Otherwise, we would have clearly hit him in the back. But I think that's the end of practice. We're going to retire from the session now. So we're just going to go through to quali. And actually, I didn't realise the conditions are dry out completely for everyone to go on the option tyres. So I actually set the slowest lap time, because I didn't do any dry practice running when I could have done, really. But as you can see, the only penalty is for Maldonado, for grid penalty for his collision with the Marussia there. So, I mean Manor, sorry, of course. So we're going to qualifying 1, and already there's front wing across the road, is probably a collision ahead. No, it's just Mercedes, actually. Who is this? That's Hamilton, and he looks like he's lost the front wing, so Hamilton's already had a dodgy start to qualifying. See what I mean? The AI already going crazy. Bloody hell. And spoiler alert for you guys, we'll see a bit more of this to come as well. So that was my first run, going through there, and we make a bit of an error. We did what Gutierrez did in 2014. We tap our rear of the car on that the inside arm cove there. So this is the same clip, and we're gonna go to the garage, and then we're back out to track, and take a look what happens here, guys, when you go out to track. We are in a traffic jam, pretty much. There's 2 cars ahead. One of them's a Red Bull, a Sauber. There's a car going really slowly. Yellow flag. 5 lights are going, and there's a Sauber spin across the road, and we spun. Oh, typical.
This is my favorite part, right here.
So there we have it. Once again, I have another weird glitch crash where the AI just crashed in front of me, and I can't move because the AI is controlling my car with the 5 lights. and the AI controlling my car did the funny, like, Austin Powers thing across the road. Like the 50-point turn or something like that. It's funny to watch, but this is just a car stream by. It's actually Maldonado. Once again, Maldonado causing chaos. He actually spun me around, otherwise I probably would have still kept going. But I don't think I actually have any damage somehow. We don't have any damage from that, so we can actually go ahead. Yes, as you can see, we're checking the gauges there. We don't have any damage, so we can go ahead and start our lap. As we're going to there. It's Q1, obviously we're on the prime tyres. We want to try and go for the session on the prime tyres, see if it will work. As we're going through to the end of lap 2, and we set not a good lap time actually. There's a few errors in that lap, and that was Maldonado once again in the wall. I mean, it couldn't be anyone else, could it? It had to be Maldonado, and he's probably just going to stick there for the whole of the session. But my lap time so far haven't been that good. I'm P17. I need to improve pretty quickly, and this is pretty much the do or die lap. So I've just gone out there, my next lap, and it was 17.8, and I literally just retired from the session there. So that was do or die. If I made a mistake in that lap, I would have been knocked out of Q1. That would have been totally embarrassing, and not what I would have needed. But luckily, I made it through. Also, interesting to note, Felipe Nasr got a 5-place grid penalty as well. Not quite sure. Oh no, it was probably for that collision in me before the 5 lights even went out for me to do my quali run. But yeah, there's no big surprises dropped out. Actually, no, it was Daniel Kvyat dropped out in his Red Bull. And he also got a warning for crossing the pit lane exit. But yeah, Felipe Nasr got a grid penalty, and Maldonado got disqualified from the session for parking it at turn 1. But here's quali 2 results. Nothing really happened in quali 2 as we made it through in P6. All of the usual front runners have made it through to the Q3 shootout, including Fernando Alonso and his McLaren Honda. So good on him for making it through to the top 10 Q3 shootout. The bid to get pole position around the Monaco Grand Prix, the track probably that's most important to get pole position. Can we do it in our Toro Rosso? Let's find out. As we're going for the final, there's someone in the wall. Who was that? Was it Mercedes? We're going to do a flashback. We're going to have a look now and see who it was. It's Lewis Hamilton. It's a championship leader. He's in the wall. He's made a critical error, or just a glitch or whatever, and he's just parked it in the simple section. And there's me going past now with a probably a grin on my face now, seeing the championship leader in the wall. It might mean we actually have a chance if we do a good qualifying lap and get a good starting position for this race. We can get points in Lewis Hamilton in this race and hopefully claw back a little bit in this championship fight. And I don't know, can we do it? We need to actually get a good, maybe front row start, if not pole position. So that's what we're going to aim for this race. We had fairly high results in Q1 and Q2, so that's definitely not the question. So it's our first quali run as we tap the wall there going through Casino Square and tap it again. So it definitely is not the cleanest of starts as they're going through the third sector right on board for our first lap. As we make another mistake, we get way too much wheel spin coming out the final corner and we hit the wall, and that's going to ruin our lap quite a bit. It's a 117.8 though, so it's not actually that bad. And this is going to be our final quali run. This is what going to be decides where we're going to be on the grid. We said another personal best on the previous lap at 117.3, I believe it is. But we can go even quicker. Sorry, 117.1. We can go even quicker than that. This is my best effort. So I'm sticking board the whole lap. I'm going to commentate the whole thing. So this is where we're going through Casino Square. So much better than a lap 1 attempt. As we've got 20 seconds left to quali, and we go green. We got 10th up on our previous best. We got very close to the wall there, going through Mirabeau. We're going through the hairpin. We locked up quite a bit, and we make a bit of a mistake, lose the back end out of that corner, and we miss the apex going through Portier. So it wasn't the best line through the second sector there, but we can still, if we nail the third sector and the rest of this sector, we can still improve on our time. So here we are going through the Nova chicane now. We actually get a very nice line for it, so it's a very good job there. We're in second place at the moment, still behind Vettel. Vettel has got pole position as we go through the left hand there, through the simple section. We tap the wall a little bit, we are up on our personal best, so we can still improve our time. We've got a very nice line through that chicane. And who knows, we can still beat Vettel's time. He's just a couple of tenths at the moment on our personal best before. We get a very nice end to the lap there. Going out of the final corner with DRS open, rich mix, cross the line, a 116.8, but unfortunately not enough to get pole position. Vettel still beats us by 0.3 of a second. In fact, Vettel is over like a second and 3/10 ahead of Rosberg. It's a ridiculous margin. But we're alongside him on the front row. We've still got a chance for the race win to get a good result. Both Hamilton and Bottas are disqualified, so they start 9th and 10th respectively. So we can still get a good result, good race. Let's go to the grid.
Jack it up.
Okay, here we are on the grid. Also, it's going to be a dry race for us today, of 39 laps. Just loading setup now. The strategy will be a one-stop strategy, so we need to make sure we make these options and then primes last the full stint. And most of all, we need to make sure we keep it out of the barriers, which would be difficult for me to do, and also get a good start. We need to try and get ahead of Vettel. Lights out and away we go. And unfortunately, as Rosberg has got the better start from P2. We tried to squeeze him into the wall there, but he got in front of us. But we're going to hold it around the outside at turn 1. So it's not bad actually, not a bad start. We recovered the position back into P2. We need to make sure we get ahead of Vettel while we got the. While he's probably got the cold tyres and stuff. We went quite right through Casino Square, but that meant we had a much better line into it. And Vettel broke very early actually from Mirabeau. We almost pushed him right. It's going to give us a chance to go and dive the inside into the hairpin. We're making a little bit of contact and force him into the wall a little bit, and we relinquished the position. Vettel went very slow again through that corner, but we decided not to press the advantage as we went quite wide with Portier once again. That's Masses right behind us. He might try and take advantage of that fast Williams and a straight line speed. Our straight line speed probably won't be very good for this race, so we've got to make sure there won't be cars overtaking us. But we're not too bad so far. We're still within touching distance of Vettel. We haven't made any mistakes or anything. So if we keep the pace of Vettel, then who knows, we might even be able to undercut him. And I'm sure some AI will probably be doing some 2-stops, where Vettel will be one of them. I guess we'll see. But where's Rosberg actually? He was in P3. Now Massa is, so I'm not sure where Rosberg is gone. We're gonna have a look at the start again in a minute. But we're just completing lap 1. We're less than a second behind Vettel still, as he sets a faster lap of the race. Obviously, Massa behind us. There's a bit of a gap from 3rd to 4th, but here we go. We're going to watch the start. As Rosberg got the jump on us, we held it around the outside as we went very slow on the apex, and we cheekily go in front of him once I knew we had a car's width on him. So there are going up the hill now. Got a very wide line through Casino Square. So is this where did he spin? He hit my left rear and he spun himself into the wall. I mean, I don't think that's my fault, but anyway, going to stick on board for the moment as Vettel went very slow going to Mirabeau, so we almost pushed him round. And there's our diving attempt going to the hairpin. It's very aggressive, so I didn't try and pursue it, and besides, he just held around the outside. But let's have a look at the instance and the angles. There's just Rosberg just. I know we sort of opened the door, he went quite wide, but that's to try and get a good line going through this next part. And Rosberg didn't have any part of his car alongside apart from his front wing. I mean, he should have backed out of it. He should have saw that the move just wasn't on there. I don't know what he was thinking, really. I think that was a racing instance. I hope you guys agree. Obviously, I didn't know that Rosberg was there at all. I didn't even know till like half around the lap. I wonder where Rosberg was. I didn't notice the yellow flag, but I thought there was a collision behind us. We're on board with Rosberg now as he's completing the rest of the lap, getting in everyone's way pretty much. As I don't know why he dived at the inside of a Toro Rosso there, my teammate. But there he is holding someone out. As McLaren is going to bash him up the arse. As he's just being a roadblock for everyone now. So it might give me a bit of advantage. Obviously, he's holding everyone else up, but obviously the AI very very cartoonishly funny going on. Well, I've noticed when on the way back to the pits, and they got front wing damage. There you go. Then lap 4, we got set the fastest lap of the race. They're still right behind Vettel. He has not left us at all. We've been right on Vettel's tail pretty much the entire stint. We haven't found a way past that. Ferrari has a good straight line speed. But now, at the end of lap 9, Vettel's gone into the pits. So that's a definite 2-stop strategy for him. We are going to stick to the 1-stop. We're not going to change strategy. It's going to be tough for us with tyre wear. I'm not that great with tyre wear in this game, if I'm honest. But we're going to see how we cope. Just hope our strategy actually works out compared to the rest of the AI cars, because everyone's on different strategies. Some on 1 stop, some on 2 stops. But at the moment, Vettel pitting, we're 10 seconds ahead of Raikkonen, who I believe is also on a 2-stop strategy. So you may be wondering where Hamilton is at this point. He started peeing on the grid. So there he is, behind a huge train of cars, including Red Bull, Ferraris, there's a Sauber at the front, a Lotus, a huge train, and there's Kvyat, I think that was at 5th place or something like that, and then another train starting with my teammate in P2, so obviously he's extending his stint long, with Button behind him, and there's Vettel at the end of that, so obviously it's worked out true that Vettel's being held up a lot by my teammate and Button, who is obviously extending their stints long, and by lap 17, so about lap I'm going to pit. My tyres are pretty worn, as you can see the understeer going through Casino Square there, and the screen and the dash. A bit worried I'll get a puncture if I stay there any longer. So here we are, we're going to go to pit lane, end of lap 17. My one and only stop, so I hope Toro Rosso actually do a good stop for me. So yeah, everyone's on different strategies at the moment. I think Sainz is going to appear out in front of me, but obviously he's going to stop, staying out long. So is Button, and Vettel's in 2-stop strategy. I think both Ferraris and both Williams are on 2 stops. Whereas I think the Mercedes of Hamilton and Ricciardo and a few others like Sainz and stuff are on 1-stop strategies, and that's Kvyat just emerged in front of me. But literally, the end of lap 18, he's going to go into the pit lane anyway, so that's it's not bad for us there. So now up into P5, make that P3 as Button and someone else went into the pit lane as well, as they're burning some fuel by putting them to rich mix. But things aren't looking too bad ahead. Vettel is stuck behind my teammate for a couple more laps, so that's going to help us a bit, so he doesn't actually extend away on his option tyres, which I believe he's got at the moment. But at the end of lap 19, as Sainz in the pit lane for his one and only stop, so it's going to drop down the order a bit, but it was quite high up, so I'm sure he'll get some good decent points in this race. But lap 23, that's Vettel in the pit lane, who've got back in front of him into the lead of the race. And he's now probably about 10 seconds behind me. He didn't extend that much away through the stint. So it's going to be quite close. I'll be quite curious to see where he actually ends up. Will he end up in traffic? We're going to have a clip now, see where he ends up. So that's Raikkonen's teammate, much ahead of him. But Raikkonen's going to make another stop. That's Ricciardo as well, who's on a 1-stop. So but Vettel hasn't actually jumped in, so that's good. And Bottas, who like, I don't know, Vettel just sort of weave away from. And that's now nearly cost him position with Hamilton. He's going to try and hold around the outside of Casino Square, side by side, through the first sector of Monaco. This is how you do it. Great job from the AI, forgetting the league race and stuff. But they're still going side by side through the hairpin. Obviously behind the Williams, who probably has to stop again, and Ricciardo. Vettel slams the wall again for the second time that race. They're still going side by side through Portier. And it looks like the Mercedes will have better traction. Has now got the position ahead of him. But Hamilton is on a 1-stop. Vettel has the freshest tyres of that group, and he probably won't have anything to do with it, because I don't think the AI can really overtake that well. And this is actually the closest Hamilton got to overtaking Ricciardo. Eventually, like, this is I think about lap 20 or 25 or something after the Williams pitted. But this is lap 26. I've got about 8 to 9 seconds gap over Ricciardo, Hamilton, and Vettel behind. I just need to keep it consistent and fairly quick, and just basically mistake free. Then I'll win the race ahead of the one-stopping cars, assuming, of course, they don't take. But that plan has gone completely to shit there, as he hit the left rear on the arm cove of the apex of the Nova chicane, just like we did in practice to the inside apex of Raskas. Luckily, we don't have any damage, but that's cost us an awful lot of time, obviously down on the sector times, and now it's gone down to 5-second gap to the cars behind. Ricciardo's closed in nearly 4 seconds in that one mistake. That's what we've got to try and minimise, and that could have been costly in so many more ways. So there's a replay, and we literally just clip it. It's the finest of margins, and that's just enough to send us around, do a completely full 360 spin into the barrier. So it's a bit of mad skills there, and we hit the barrier face on with our tyres, so somehow, luckily enough, no front wing damage, which definitely don't want to repeat that again. So lap 31, we're struggling on our prime tyres. I just couldn't get the pace I did out of the options, and I'm struggling quite a bit. I'm just about keeping a gap to Ricciardo ahead, still about 5 seconds. But come the final lap of the race, they have closed the gap. Somehow, Ricciardo on his one-stop strategy, he's probably been on his tyres longer than I have, have eked their tyres out and they've closed in on me. And so, I'm pretty much lucky enough that Hamilton and Vettel couldn't find a way past, because otherwise I might not have had it this race. Give an example how slow I was on the late stages. The man ahead emerged a couple of laps ahead of me, and I couldn't actually catch him. He was on the fresher tyres. But forgetting all of that, we've come out the final corner, not the best stakes in the world, but I don't really care. We're coming across the line, we've won the Monaco Grand Prix. Wait, what the fuck? Seriously, what the actual? Why does it say Ricciardo's win the race? No, I've had enough of these glitches. No, I've had it. No, just fuck off, game. I mean, come on. I clearly won the race. I had no penalties. No way Ricciardo finished ahead of me. In fact, actually, we're gonna have a look at the replay cameras now and see where each driver can wear, so we know for certain. So it's literally just before the line. I was first. Ricciardo clearly second. Hamilton finished third, Vettel fourth, Perez fifth. So good job for Force India. And who's sixth place? It's going to be Button and McLaren. So good job, Button. Then Sainz, the teammate, holding up a train of cars, including Massa, who had a 5-second penalty. So keep that in mind. Raikkonen P9, Grosjean P10. But with Massa getting a penalty, it actually means his teammate actually gets 10th place at the end of that. So I'm going to include Massa's penalty, whatever it's for, in the results. So I'm just ignoring what this says, because that's utter bullshit. Really is. I worked really hard for that race. The amount of sweat, like, jeez. I reckon I deserve that win. I'm sorry, game. Just yeah. So there's the championship standings, and as you can see, I moved back up to 4th place now on 65 points. Vettel's done very well after winning last race against like what was it, 3rd here. So I'm now 4th place in standings. Vettel's actually ahead of Rosberg, so that's interesting to note. And I'd say we're back in this championship hunt, lads. We're back in this championship hunt. An epic Monaco Grand Prix. Might not be the best action-wise, but strategy-wise, yeah, I don't know. Just the sheer effort I put into this race, and hopefully I can get rid of that Monaco, like the thing that I'm shit at Monaco. Hopefully I can get rid of that, leave it behind me. Hopefully I'm now finally good at this tracking. I hope you guys enjoy this video. The amount of effort I put into it as well. Please smash the like button if you enjoyed watching it. Please subscribe if you're new. The next race will be Canada, another track I really like. So I'll see you guys all then. Palms out.